Tom Cruise is often seen as a symbol of Hollywood perfection, daring stunts, blockbuster franchises, and a smile that lights up screens worldwide. Yet behind the glitz lies a story many don't know, a tale of fear, trauma, and self-doubt that shaped him long before the fame. Before the red carpets and record-breaking box office numbers, Cruise was a frightened child, moving from place to place, struggling to read, and trying to understand a world that seemed determined to make him feel small. The confident, fearless persona audiences see today was not innate. It was forged through years of internal struggle. What many perceive as bravado is, in truth, a lifelong battle with insecurity. This is the story of how a boy who was told he wasn't enough transformed himself into one of the most powerful figures in entertainment by confronting fear and refusing to be defined by his past. Fear as the driving force. Childhood challenges. Tom Cruise's childhood was far from the glamorous life he later portrayed on screen. Raised by a father who was emotionally distant and occasionally abusive, Cruise grew up in a home where stability was rare and affection was conditional. Moving frequently, he struggled to form lasting friendships, constantly adjusting to new schools and new environments. To make matters worse, Cruise was diagnosed with dyslexia, making reading and learning feel like an insurmountable obstacle. School became a source of anxiety rather than growth, and the fear of failure followed him everywhere. In a world where children are often judged by their grades, Cruise felt like an outsider, always behind, always struggling. This fear of not measuring up did not disappear as he grew older. Instead, it became a hidden engine driving him forward. From fear to determination. The turning point. Despite his hardships, Cruise did not allow fear to become his identity. Instead, he began to channel it into determination. While many children with similar struggles might have succumbed to self-doubt, Cruise used his fear as fuel, pushing himself to work harder and to seek validation in performance. His early experiences taught him that he could not control his environment, but he could control his reaction to it. This shift from helplessness to agency became the foundation of his later success. Even when his confidence was shaky, he found ways to keep moving forward, often through sheer persistence. The boy who once dreaded school and social interactions learned to transform anxiety into ambition. In time, his fear became a silent partner, driving him to take risks, pursue acting, and ultimately build a career where he could control his own narrative. Finding salvation. Scientology's role in his life. As Cruise searched for stability and self-confidence, Scientology entered his life like a lifeline. Introduced by trusted friends, the religion offered him a sense of purpose and control that he had never experienced before. For a man who had grown up feeling powerless, Scientology provided a structured path towards self-improvement and mental clarity. It gave him tools to manage his dyslexia and reshape his internal dialogue. Through the teachings and practices, Cruise began to feel a sense of empowerment that had previously eluded him. The religion became more than just a belief system. It became a refuge from the chaos of his past. The rise of a Hollywood star. Cruise's transformation from a frightened young man to a Hollywood superstar did not happen overnight. It was the result of hard work, resilience, and a relentless belief in his own potential. As he began to act, his natural charisma and dedication quickly made him stand out. He didn't just perform, he immersed himself in each role, pushing himself beyond the limits of what was expected. Films like Top Gun and Mission Impossible did more than elevate his career. They allowed him to reinvent himself publicly. Each performance became a statement of defiance against his past, proof that he was no longer the scared boy who couldn't keep up in school. Cruise's rise to fame was not merely a series of lucky breaks. It was the result of years of self-reinvention. In a way, every character he played was a version of the person he wished to become, fearless, capable, and in control. Hollywood had found its new star, but Cruise had also found a new way to survive. The Cost of Love, Katie Holmes, and the Breakdown of a Marriage. After his public struggles and personal controversies, Cruise found love again with actress Katie Holmes. Their relationship captured the world's attention, and their marriage seemed to offer a second chance at happiness. Together, they welcomed a daughter, Suri, and appeared to build a stable family life. However, the influence of Scientology began to strain the relationship. Holmes, who had once embraced the glamour of Hollywood, reportedly became increasingly uncomfortable with the control the religion exerted over their lives. The tension grew quietly, hidden behind smiles and public appearances, until it became impossible to ignore. In 2012, Holmes filed for divorce in a manner that stunned the public, carefully planned and executed in secrecy. Cruise, blindsided by the decision, suddenly faced another devastating loss. This separation was not just the end of a marriage. It was another reminder that even fame and fortune could not shield him from emotional pain. The breakdown of his relationship with Holmes revealed that the man who could conquer the world on screen still struggled to maintain intimacy off it. Rebuilding through work, a Hollywood comeback. After the divorce, Cruise could have retreated from the public eye. Instead, he did what he had always done. He doubled down on his craft. He threw himself into work, pushing his physical limits and committing to stunts that few actors would dare attempt. Movies like Mission Impossible and Edge of Tomorrow showcased his dedication to realism as he performed increasingly dangerous sequences himself. This was not merely a career move. It was a form of therapy. Through action and physicality, Cruise found a way to regain control and rebuild his identity. His career, which had appeared to falter, began to soar again. Audiences responded to his commitment and admired his willingness to risk injury for authenticity. His resurgence proved that he was not defined by public controversy or personal heartbreak. Instead, he emerged stronger, more focused, and more determined than ever to prove his resilience. Cruise had reinvented himself yet again, reminding the world that he was not just a movie star. He was a survivor, the paradox of success, a lonely heart behind the legend. Despite his achievements, Tom Cruise's life is marked by a paradox. He has conquered fear on screen and built a career that few can rival. Yet his personal life has often been defined by distance and isolation. His relationships, including those with his children, have been the subject of speculation and controversy. He has lost 2 marriages and remains a figure of mystery in his private life. For a man who has faced death-defying stunts and public scrutiny, the emotional toll has been profound. The person who appears invincible in movies is, in reality, still grappling with the wounds of his past. This disconnect between public image and private pain serves as a reminder that success cannot erase trauma. Cruise's life is a story of resilience, but also of longing. He has built a world where he can control his destiny on screen, yet he continues to search for the connection and peace that eluded him as a child. Even the greatest legends carry scars, and Cruise's are visible not in his performances, but in his quiet moments. Conclusion: the man behind the myth. Tom Cruise's journey is a testament to the human spirit's ability to transform fear into power. From a childhood filled with instability and self-doubt, he built a life of extraordinary achievement. Yet the cost has been immense. Scientology offered him a path to self-confidence. Hollywood offered him fame, and his stunts offered him a way to confront fear head-on. But the emotional wounds of his past have never fully healed. In the end, Cruise is not simply a movie star. He is a survivor who continues to rebuild himself through each new role. His story reminds us that even those who seem invincible can be shaped by pain, and that resilience is not the absence of fear, but the decision to keep moving forward despite it.